Today we're going to be discussing annotating, aka active reading. This is something that we're going to start doing soon when we start reading our stories in class and out of class. It's also a really huge tool for you for years to come. Uh, I'll be showing you some examples of what some prior students have done with our active reading skills and how you might be using it in college when I see you in class again. But I want you for now to just follow along with this video and you will be answering questions throughout, okay? So these are things that good readers do, and I know some of you may feel like you're a good reader, some of you may feel like reading is not your forte, and that's okay, but in order to become a better reader, you want to do these particular things, okay? So you want to make some connections and ask questions and make predictions. You're basically having a conversation with your text when you're reading. So the most important thing about active reading is that you are going to read so that you can actually understand and evaluate what it is you're reading, and you can kind of find a way to connect to it. So here's the different steps to actually active reading. Okay, so you want to prepare to get started. So before you actually start reading, you want to examine the text. Kind of like a warning before you get up to the light. All right. So actually thinking about how you're gonna better understand this text. Okay. Once you start reading, while you're reading, you want to stop and you want to reflect on what you've actually read. So think about what you actually read at this moment. Then after you're done reading, you want to continue to stop and reflect. Like go back. Sometimes you read it one time and it's not enough. And I know, like I said, reading can be painstaking, but sometimes it's better to go back and reread certain parts of it than to not understand it at all. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. What are things that good readers pay attention to? Well, they pay attention to their own thoughts while they're reading. So we have a really fancy word for that. It's called metacognitive. And basically, metacognitive means that we're thinking about our thoughts. That makes sense? Like you think about what you're thinking about when you're thinking about your thinking. Hopefully that makes sense. Whoa. Okay. So thinking about your own thoughts. So annotations are when you specifically write down things in the text, your own marks, okay? Whatever it is that you actually write down, that's called annotations. But like I said, we're going to be calling it active reading as well. You're going to hear that phrase again and again. So basically, when you are annotating in the text, you are jotting down reactions that you have, questions that you may come up with in your head, maybe some key points that stick out for you, maybe mini summaries, maybe evaluations of what you read. It's basically, like I mentioned before, a conversation that you're having with the author, with the story, with the characters. So these are some ideas for when you annotate. You might want to circle some words. If you don't know what the word means, you can go ahead and put like an arrow and then write the definition along the side, maybe underline some things that you think are important. I know a lot of you like to do these underlining things, but then you like underline everything or you highlight everything, and that's too much. You just want to underline the parts that are most important. Maybe you want to put brackets if there's a lot of things that you like about it. Maybe you want to put a big bracket around it and put a little note, this was important. Uh, Maybe you want to use some lines and arrows, like you read something and then you're like, oh my god, look back at the top of the page, like this was connected. Or maybe put a note on the side that says, oh, this is what happened in chapter 1. And always create a key so that you remember what each thing stands for. All right, so these are ways that you can kind of do those pre-reading strategies. So you're looking at this particular document and we're trying to see, hey, what do you think this is going to be about? What do we already know? Harriet Tubman, Way of Freedom. She had something to do with the Underground Railroad. That's right. This was during, a very intense time period of the United States. Let's look at what's on this page. Oh, there's some bolded words. There's a photograph. Oh, look, they give you a glossary. A lot of times in stories that we read, they give you like little definitions of words, and sometimes you guys don't even pay attention to those, and then you get to the word, you don't know what the word means, and meanwhile the definition is right underneath. So always take a look at everything that you're going to be reading. Okay. So while you are reading, okay, I don't know how many of you are able to do this, but I am a very visual person. So when I read, I kind of imagine my own movie in my head, so to speak. So, like, those of you who can draw, if it helps you, maybe do a quick drawing along the side to help you, right? Make some kind of connections. Like, what does the story remind you of? Oh my God, I remember that time that, I got beat up by a bunch of people because I was trying to do the right thing. Oh, that's very much like Pony Boy and Outsiders or something, okay? Text to, text to self. That would be a text to self, I'm sorry. uh, Text to text, like maybe something that we're reading this year will remind you of something that you read in the past. And then text to world could be something that you're reading about that connects to something that's going on with the world, right? Maybe you want to create some kind of a chart like this, like questions on one side, notes on the other. You just want to create something that's going to help, okay? After you read, like we said, you want to try to summarize. So maybe you read a full page and there's just like, a couple major things that happen. So feel free, like take a post note and jot down a mini summary about it, okay? Think about why they wrote what they wrote, right? So obviously, annotating active reading means you have to write stuff down, okay? But you can't always write in the book, can you? Okay, so if you can't write in the book because it's a borrowed book that's from school or maybe from a library or maybe from a friend, what you can do is make your marks on sticky notes. Okay, so I'm always going to have a couple sticky notes, but you guys are going to want to go get some of your own sticky notes. And basically, you're going to want to jot those notes and put it on the correct page that you got it from. So you're obviously not going to put a sticky note on like another page. You want to put it on the page that you are actually on, right? And is that it? No, that's it. Look at that. Okay, so this is what active reading is about. And like I said, we're going to be doing this. There's going to be times when I give you copies of stories. You're going to actually be able to highlight and copy on there, or you're going to be able to use Cami to do it. But there's going to be other times that you're going to have an actual book and you're going to be using post notes. Okay? So hopefully you understood what is expected of you. That's what we're going to be doing. Thank you. Bye.